All right, let's talk about building AI. We're going to demystify one of the most important parts of getting it right. It's all about the blueprint, that essential plan you absolutely need before you even think about writing a single line of code.
So, let's just jump right in with the huge question. You see all this money, all this brain power being poured into AI projects. So why do so many of them fail? What's the number one reason? Is it the algorithm, the data, not enough computing power? What do you think?
Well, the answer? It's usually a lot more human than you'd think. They fail because they were built to solve the wrong problem. All that amazing technology, all that hard work was just pointed in the wrong direction from the start.
Okay, so how do we avoid that massive trap? Simple. We follow a blueprint, a really clear 5-step framework that makes sure from day one we're locked in on solving the right problem.
I mean, think about it this way. You would never ever start building a house by just pouring a slab of concrete and hoping it all works out, right? Of course not. You'd start with a detailed blueprint. Well, building something as complex and powerful as an AI system, it's the exact same idea.
So here they are, the 5 foundational steps. We've got understand the people, analyze the system, map the solution, validate with experts, and finally, define the problem. Now, to make this super easy to follow, we're going to group these into 3 main stages. First, we'll talk about understanding the people. Then, we'll dive into analyzing the system, and we'll wrap up with that final, crucial check, validating everything with the experts. It's a really logical flow from a human need all the way to a bulletproof plan.
All right, let's get into our first stage, and honestly, this is the most important one. You have to start with the people. Before you even whisper the word technology, you have to understand the human side of the equation. This is like sitting down with the family that's actually going to live in the house you're about to build. And the very first thing you do? Stakeholder interviews. This just means talking. You directly engage with every single person who is affected by the problem. The goal here isn't to talk about symptoms. It's to dig deep and uncover the real challenges, the real unmet needs that are hiding under the surface.
And these aren't just casual chats, it's structured work. First, you gather perspectives from literally everyone, from the CEO down to the person who will use this thing every single day. Then, you dig and you dig until you find the root causes. You also document the actual numbers, the key performance indicators, to see exactly where the gaps are. And maybe most importantly, you get everyone to agree on what success actually looks like. This isn't guesswork, it's real investigative work.
All of that amazing info you gather then gets turned into what we call user personas. These are basically detailed profiles of the real people who are going to use the AI. It's a fantastic tool because it keeps the team focused on solving a problem for Sarah in accounting, not just some abstract technical idea.
And here's the payoff. When you start with the people, you end up designing solutions for them, not for a bunch of technical assumptions. It's a huge shift in focus, and it's what really sets a project on the path to success.
Okay, so now that we have a deep understanding of the human side of things, we can move on to stage 2, analyzing the system. This is where the architect takes everything they learned from the family and starts drawing up the actual technical blueprint for the house.
This all kicks off with process analysis. You have to map out how things work right now. Where are the bottlenecks? What are the repetitive, mind-numbing tasks? Where are the inefficiencies? You're basically looking for the exact spots where AI can jump in and provide real, measurable value.
And this is where a really critical choice comes up. Do you need a simple, rule-based system? You can think of this like a flowchart, just following a bunch of if this, then that rules. Or is the problem more complex, something that needs a machine learning approach, where the AI can actually learn from data and adapt? Choosing the right tool for the job here is absolutely crucial. You don't want to over-engineer a simple problem or, bring a knife to a gunfight.
And check out this table. It shows you exactly how this works. Let's say you want to predict if a customer is going to leave you. Well, you'd use a classification model, which is great at sorting things into categories like likely to leave or likely to stay. Need to summarize a giant document? That's a job for natural language processing. Want to spot tiny defects on a production line? You use computer vision, literally giving the AI the ability to see. It's all about matching the right AI skill to the right business problem. So, the outcome here is pretty straightforward, but so important. By doing this analysis, you make sure the tech you choose actually fits the problem you have. You're deploying technology in a smart, valuable, and responsible way.
Okay, we've understood the people, we've analyzed the system. Now for our third and final stage before we build anything. We have to validate with the experts. Think of this as the final inspection on the house plans before anyone even digs a foundation.
And this process relies on what we call subject matter experts, or SMEs. These are the people who have that deep, deep knowledge of how things actually work, both operationally and technically. They go over the whole plan and give it the final okay. Yep, the problem is defined correctly. Yes, we can actually solve this with technology. And yes, this is a top priority for us.
And this isn't just a quick thumbs up. The experts get in there and review the whole problem statement with a fine-tooth comb. They challenge every single assumption, trying to poke holes in the plan to make it stronger. They confirm that it's technically doable and, this is a big one, that the data you need is actually available and ready to go. Then they help you refine the scope so it's realistic. It's the ultimate stress test before you commit.
And what do you get at the end of all that? A problem statement that is refined, accurate, and fully validated. The project now officially has the green light to move forward, and everyone has the confidence that they're aiming at the right target.
So, let's wrap this all up. The AI Success Blueprint. This is really the big takeaway I want you to have from all this. Just remember this number, 5. 5 deliberate, foundational steps that can turn a risky, expensive AI project into a targeted, strategic win. Because really, what we just walked through, it isn't just a checklist. It's a whole different way of thinking. It's about shifting your mindset away from that frantic rush to just build something, and instead, taking the time to patiently and critically understand first. And you know, this idea is so much bigger than just AI. It applies to, well, everything. So I'll leave you with a final question to think about. In your own work, in your own life, what solution are you busy building right now without first taking the time to truly understand the problem?